I'm in a great deal of pain and my eyes are killing me. Um, and I just kind of want to sign off because I won't be fighting for human rights anymore. I did everything I could. I was 6 years old, crippled by being poisoned, and I fought against that. And I have had many successes thanks to Americans. I've never got any support from Canadians. Not saying an individual Canadian here and there didn't rescue me and help me when they could, but I'm talking about in the political human rights sense. What little media I got went nowhere. And the only real successes I had were because of Americans and a few warriors in the Steelworkers Union. But my government in Ontario, Doug Ford, the Conservative, why people vote for Conservatives and Republicans who are against any kind of health care, I'll never understand. That just goes to show how selfish and ignorant they really are, and our lack of education. But what the hell? The fascists are on the rise in Europe again. They even won in Austria, and they were banned from operating in the government because they have laws against the fascists. But look at where we are, and how women bring into the world such misogynist, hateful men. I'll never understand. But I do blame the women as much as the men, because I watched my mother raise a monster, my brother, and never lifted a finger to stop the sadistic violence of my a sociopath, my father. And yet how come I knew at 7 years old that it was wrong? And I look at Israel, two wrongs don't make a right. Yes, you had a couple of hundred people butchered, but excuse me, killing 70,000 Palestinians in response is not a solution. And I'm not going to get into too much details, but I met a general back in 1968 and from Israel, and he cried in my arms at what he had fought for and died for. Didn't happen. The Israel that he believed he was fighting for never came to fruition. Two wrongs don't make a right. And my government has canceled funding to the health district. So that means people with allergies like me, immune deficiencies, dangerously low T and B C cells, in other words, a simple cold virus, I wind up with lung infection. So I should go to a clinic and full of people with contagious infections and risk getting an infection to get a flu shot. How insane is that? And I know I'm going to die soon, and that's okay. I'm really glad to get off this planet. I have lived to see so much corruption. I have been robbed of over $3 million from the age of 40, and I worked since I was 12 years old. My doctors left me to die in the streets. The lawyers, all but one, ripped me off and took hundreds of thousands of dollars and contributed to the fraud. And count the people. 5 people committed fraud on me in my life. 5. And not once did the police ever charge them with a crime. They wouldn't lift a finger to help me. There was a retired cop who tried. He went to the police chief in Sudbury, but he said, I'm not wasting taxpayers' money on 2 damn seniors. Let them use their own money and go to court. Yeah. This stupid computer. This is the one that Helen screwed up, but it's the only one that I can do videos on. And I'm not spending $2,000 to get it fixed. My research is done, my websites are finished, and everything is on YouTube. 200 years from now, millions of children will have my disease and my immune deficiencies, and their bodies will be poisoned by everything in the air, food, water, and beverages. And although okra won't save them all, it'll save the majority. But there will be those that are so allergic, it won't help them, and I can't help them. And my life's over anyway. It's done. I'm not going to keep fighting anymore. I put it out. The health department was canceled funding. It was the only place for the last 15 years that I could go, and I wasn't being in risk of a bunch of sick people because it's the head office, and sick people weren't allowed in the building. And I could get the booster shot and the vaccine safely, and I didn't risk getting contagious infections. And Doug Ford canceled their funding. You won't hear about it in the media. Thanks to our stupid legislation, we can't even share media in this country. We're just so dumb. But nobody cares whether I live or die but a handful of people anyway. And it doesn't matter. I live in so much pain. I am so crippled. There's almost nothing that I can do to get any pleasure out of life. I'm in absolute agony all the time now. It's because of a tumor. I tried to show this before, but that's the size of it. Yeah, look at that. That's a genetic mutation. It's a fat cell feeding off a main artery. And it started out the size of a pin dot. And there's nothing that can be done. But I can't keep fighting the corruption because I just don't have any support. I really don't. And the few people that care about me, they can't even help themselves, let alone help me. So it's a done deal. Our laws are corrupt. Our court system is corrupt. And the vast majority of politicians are putting taxpayers' money into their own pockets. That's what Doug Ford in particular, and Mike Harris, and Brian Mulrooney, and a whole long list of them. We had a couple over the last 100 years. You can count them on one hand. But, and you know, people worshiping men like Putin and Trump and Hitler. Why do I want to fight to keep this species alive on this planet? Well, because I met children that were innocent. And they didn't deserve to suffer the way I did. And I'm not going to go into all the rapes and the brutal torture. Again, there were witnesses. And my mother pushed me into the arms of men that tortured me. Yeah. So, you know, I have a lot of complaints about Dan, his fits of rage and his hissy fits, and he has ruined more days than I can count. But he's a victim as a child of such horrendous abuse that he has no ability to consciously recognize what he's doing half the time. And I know I'll bitch about it, but he has a good heart. and he tries. And I wouldn't be alive, and I wouldn't have been able to ski in all those wonderful videos and dance videos. That's all because of him. So we got to give credit where credit's due. I don't forgive his bad behavior, but I understand where it's coming from. And when he lashes out at me, he's lashing out at the world that he grew up in. Doesn't make it okay. And I do punish him. He goes to bed with no supper. You know, I know it's silly, but it makes me feel good that I don't let him get away with it. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to all you Americans. What gas mask equipment I have for the military, for the fire department, for the workers in the mines and the factories, and the pollution that is stopped at the Sudbury smelter, it's all because of you Americans. Yes, I took to the streets in a gas mask and I fought all by myself, but you came to my rescue. Canadians didn't. And to you couple of journalists that really did care, and the fact that the public just ignored it and didn't care, well, you tried, okay? You tried. So I'm kind of signing off. I won't be changing my websites. I won't be changing my passwords. I won't be doing any more fighting for human rights. You get the government you vote for. And in Canada, only 33% even bother to vote. So, I don't know why Canadians, they fight for all the wrong things. I see them fighting against the vaccine. What? You want polio crippled children by the millions again? You want scarlet fever to destroy their lives and give them kidney disease? What's the matter with you? But they won't lift a finger to change the laws that allow for fraud and make it legal to steal from seniors their home and their labor and their years of work. Yes, $3 million. And I wound up homeless on the streets not once, but 3 times because of the laws and the corruption. So, that's all in my story. That's it. So I'm not going to get any more vaccines. I'm not going to get the booster shot. I am not going to go to a clinic and risk getting a lung infection. Been there, done that. And if you think it's okay to stop funding our health care in Doug Ford, I hope you get my disease. Look good on you. I'm sick to death of this men. Disgusting. You know, your life here on this planet is very short. You're going to have all eternity to answer for what you've done. But that doesn't seem to clink in. All that misogyny that goes on in the Muslim community is disgusting. The fascism is on the rise. In Turkey, men are killing women, 6,000 a year. You don't hear about it. See, because I take the time to investigate and research what's going on. But nobody cares. You don't see anybody stopping it. A couple of women fighting it all by themselves with no support. So I'm not unique, and I'm not alone. I got a lot of company. So I don't know how long I have to live with these conditions, but I'll be glad to get out of here. I did what I could. Over and out. Yes, over and out. Just remember what I said. You get the government you vote for. And if you have the right to vote, get off your butt and start voting for sanity and health care and rights. And stop blaming, inflation. This really gets me. You're blaming Biden? I bought 5 houses, 5, in 1970 to 1975. I was the first woman in North America to get a mortgage in my name without a man signing for it. And they were under 10,000. And today those houses are over $1.5 million in 50 years. Look at the cost. Those houses are still standing there. They didn't change. The bricks weren't changed. That inflation was caused by price gouging by greedy pigs. And when we hit the pandemic, our groceries doubled. Why? Because the grocery stores increased the prices. Okay, the government could have stepped in and stopped this capitalistic greed of price gouging in the grocery stores. The farmers didn't get kickback. They didn't get any help. They didn't get that money. The grocery store chains and Walmart got that money. And you're blaming Biden? And you're blaming Trudeau? I have my issues with Trudeau. I'm not going to get into that, particularly his father. But come on. Get angry at the right people. Stop buying from Amazon. Do you think that helped? You put all our stores out of business with that stupid Amazon. They create warehouses full of junk that people have returned, and it's just garbage. Take a look at the society you have created. Yes, it's your responsibility. Well, I fought and I did my responsibility. It's up to you to do yours. And I'm done. I keep saying that, but I am done. But the children will find me, and they'll remember that I fought for them. Because 50% of you adults aren't worth fighting for. You're disgusting. You're really disgusting. You just sit back, not even talking about the ones that are criminals. It's the ones who sit on your butts and do nothing. Shame on you. So yeah.